Bayou Thermal Bandits. In this video, just going to do a small set of basically just a few tips about setting traps and snares and the kinds of things to look for, and maybe where to set it up. This is not a detailed understanding of how to actually put the trap in the ground and ways to anchor it. If you have those kinds of questions, you could send them to me. But there's tons of videos like that. But this is just a view of what the kinds of sets that you'll see, or the places that you can put them where I live, namely in Louisiana. Again, lots of them usually that I see are on crossroads, on levees in between open fields, or the edges of some lane in wide open country, and using these hay sets and things. Tend to use just dirt hole sets basically in this area. And some snare sets, but I hope it's informative. Just a few of those, I think 4 or 5 short little clips here of where they were set to kind of give you a view of what it looks like and where these things are set. I will say that the bait that I was using is just scraps from cleaning deer. So just leftover stuff from cleaning deer, holding that aside, freezing it, and then using a bit of that and throwing it down into the bottom of a dirt hole. And the other thing is, when you see these dirt holes, they don't have to be 3 feet deep, just deep enough to have the appearance of a hole. And throw just a piece of that in there to give it smell, along with some gland lure or coyote urine. You can use all sorts of different things there, but just to get them in the area. I mean, they're already going to notice it anyway because of the fresh dirt that you're stirring up. So anyway, I hope this gives you just an idea of the kind of thing to do if you want to set traps for predators, and namely specifically for coyotes, bobcats, foxes, right? But my real target here is coyotes, trying to eradicate them from particular regions. All right, hope it's helpful for you guys, and see you next time.
Alright guys, this one is right off of a trail that's well used through here, and you notice this trap set. It gets your attention right off. It looks like something's been drugged down inside of a hole. The feathers around and traps down there underneath the dirt. It looks like it's been dug out of the hole. There's also a feather up here hanging, so that anytime there's any sort of wind, it flashes around, no matter where you are. It attracts bobcats or coyotes. Alright, this is a snare location for wild hogs, and you'll see why in just a sec here. But we haven't had much rain yet. You can see in here how they've laid down in this. Not only they rooted it up, they've laid down and rubbed their bodies on it, and their entrance and exit is over here. There's a trail through here, and you can see the snare set up right on the trail, and you can notice sort of the mud on the trail where they're coming in and out, and also on the trees. All the various trees inside of there have mud all over them where they're rubbing their bodies on it as they're going up and down this trail. So you got to make sure that when you set these things that the way forward is through the snare and not around it in any way. So you can stack some dead limbs if you need or whatever. Make sure that's set up right. This is another dirt hole set. It's right here to my left, but to show you here, this is a drain. In a typical winter, there's water here and water flowing through it during rainstorms and for the days after, but it's really been dry this year, and so notice there's lots of tracks through these drains where they make their way across here. And so it's a dirt hole set here, and it's looking for bobcats, but the trap again is underneath that bit of dirt there. Looks like it's been dug out of that hole. There's some feathers around in there, and typically I'd hang something here, but this area here, if they're inside of this, they're going to notice it when they walk down. They don't need to notice it from a distance. This trap set's in a good location. This is the kind of stuff that you'd look for. We're adjacent to a field, and it's set just like the others, with a dirt hole trap again, just underneath the surface there of the dirt. Some feathers, there's lure inside, and some bait. You can use a variety of things for that, but you notice here there's this drain that runs through here, and this one is a pretty severe drain compared to the other. probably 4 to 5 feet down to the bottom of it, and there's tracks everywhere inside of it. There's also lots of coyote, bobcat, and foxes just sighted in this area. So that's the kind of setup that you'd like to see for a trap setup. Just another bit on snares. You want to do is ride around and look at like these thick locations and find the trails that are commonly used. And I'm not certain that you can see it on the phone camera or not, but it's a well-used trail here. You see I have this snare set up right on the trail. They're about 10 to 12 inches up, 10 to 12 inches in diameter. And I typically use, by the way, the snare, I have the snare itself attached to the tree, and then a piece of fishing line tied up to the branch above it to hold it in place. But these are the areas that they're going to use pretty often, when they're hunting in the area. So you need to give it some time to make sure it's set up in the right location. Just make sure you don't set this up on a deer trail and you don't put it up too high, especially during late season when you might have a fawn drop early.
We'll be doing a video in the future just to give you an update on what happened with the traps and to show you maybe some of the results. All right, thanks for watching.